Yeah, so give us just like 2 4 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes more, because like we are just circulating all those uh, messages in the groups. So yeah, uh, so I can see a lot of folks are from third and second year. What about others? Like, are you from second year, third year, or what? Like, or you are in your final year of your college or what? Mradul and Abhishek are from second and third year. That's great. Second year is about to begin. That's nice. So yeah, let me just check like if you are done with the pings. Good. We are almost done with the pings. So I guess we can start. So before we start, I just wanna see that like everyone is active and some sort of like you all are present here. So can I just see number one in the chat if you are present here? One. So only one. Okay. I just want a flood of it. Like you can type once again or something like that. I just want to see that you all are being active here, because that's how like we will be able to take this session ahead. Cool. Against one here. That's nice. Yeah. So that's great. Keep them coming. Yeah, so we are about to start. So first of all, I welcome every one of you who has joined us, who know more about Google Summer of Code and how to start your open source contribution. And I would like to invite Sunit Roy, who is our speaker for today, and he was contributor in TensorFlow organization in 2021 in Google Summer of Code, and he's building uh, Cat Ploy right now. Like he's the founder of this particular product, and it's built. It's a Web3 based product right now. So welcome, Sunit, if you are here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for having me and inviting me, Vinayak. Uh,
Yeah.
it's nice to be
So
here.
welcome everyone. Before we start our session, I would like to tell you about a bit about Tech Hunters, like who we are and like why we are conducting these sessions. So Tech Hunters are just a group of uh, like-minded folks like who just wanted to have a session around the topics which we don't learn in colleges. Like it can be around like community, open source, other student-based programs and other opportunities which are not being touched in the colleges. That's why we started this particular initiative, and it's all about you. Like you today we are conducting this event on open source. You all can suggest your topics. Like we would like to have something around data science, AI, ML, or something like that. Like we can have those kind of sessions too. You can just reach out to us, like uh, through our Discord or through our mm, WhatsApp community group or anything in general. So that's all about us. Without any delay, let's welcome Sunit here. Sunit, stage is all yours. So let's start.
Thank you, Vinayak. Just a second. Let me share my slides.
Yeah, sure.
So, hi everyone,
Till
and
then, yeah.
hello. Are my slides visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Sunit Roy. As Vinayak said, I was a Google Summer Code student in TensorFlow in 2021. So today we will be talking about Google Summer of Code and what are the things that you can do to maximize your chances of getting selected. And what are the things that I followed and I after doing Google Summer Code, um, what I think are the things that would have really helped me if I have uh, done that at that time. And and also and I, and also I would like to thank Tech Hunters for inviting me. And let's talk about today's agenda. So first we will talk about Google Summer of Code, what it is, and the minimum skills that you will need to contribute to it. And then you have to know how to choose a project in Google Summer of Code. Um, by project, in Google Summer of Code, you will have the chance to choose the project that you want to work on. So how you will be choosing that project, you can, and how you should select those project. I will be talking about this. And also I will be sharing some of my personal tips of making a good proposal which will maximize your chances of getting selected, and what to do after you get selected, and also what to do if you don't get selected, which will happen to most of the guys who will be applying, because very few get selected. But you also have to know what to do if you don't get selected this time. And after the presentation, we will do a Q&A where you can ask any question. And also during the session, if you have any questions, you can just type it out in the chat. We will discuss it about we will discuss about it after the session in the Q&A round. So first, let's talk about Google Summer Code, what it is. So so here is what the website says. Google Summer Code is a global online mentoring program focused on focus on introducing new contributors to open source software development. GSoC contributors work on a 12 plus week programming project with guidance of mentors from their open source organization. So basically, in Google Summer of Code, Google provides a platform for different open source organizations to present and showcase their projects and ideas, uh, and where they can their project and ideas, and where they can get new contributors to work on it. And students can apply for the project, and if they find it interesting, they will apply for the project. And if the mentors thinks those students are capable of doing the project, then they will select them. And if they successfully finish the project, and they get the evaluations, they pass their evaluations, then they will get a stipend from Google. And earlier the program was only limited to university students, but after recent changes, now everyone above 18 can apply to it. So this is Google Summer Code. And if you don't know about open source organizations or open source software, so basically there are two kinds of softwares that there are basically two kinds of software. uh, One is proprietary software, which is where the code will be closed source, like the Google search is a proprietary software, closed source software. You don't know the source code, only the Google employees who are working on the Google search knows about the source code. And on the other hand, there is a Google competitor called DuckDuckGo. They are a open source search engine. So these are some of the differences between open source and closed source software. And there is organizations which maintains those open source softwares. Those are called open source organizations. So now that we know what is Google Summer Code, let's talk about the minimum skills that you will need to contribute to Google Summer Code. And also, these are not specific to Google. This is not specific to Google Summer Code. This implies to all open source programs, and even open source contribution as well. So the minimum skills are, you have to know Git and GitHub. So Git is a version control system. So version control system is, in a nutshell, in simple English, is is a advanced file management system. So whenever you will be working on a big code base, there will be multiple coders who will be working on the same part of the project with you in the same time. So you need a system to maintain different versions of that code, and how to merge that code, that it works and it can get deployed, and it will be usable for the end user. So version control system is a, simply put it, is a advanced file management system. And and github is a website where you can host lots of code bases which are maintained by this Git version control system. So if Git, one Git repository is a movie, then you can think of GitHub as a Netflix, as there are lots of movies there, and in GitHub you can find lots of Git repos there. And then after you got to know about Git and GitHub, you must have learned this in your CS classes. If you are a CSE student, you must have learned this. Otherwise, there are lots of good tutorial out there. You just have to put 30 to 1 hour, and you will be good to go. And next is, you need to know a programming language. So programming language can be anything. I sometimes hear that people say that you have to learn this specific language, but that's not true. You can learn any language of your choice, but there are some languages which will give you more options to choose projects, more projects to choose. You will get more options to choose from. So if you learn Python or JavaScript, there are high chances that you will get more projects and you will have an option to choose between them. Yeah, but if you choose something like Rust or Ruby, there will be lesser projects. So you have to be smart about it. But if you still choose to work on your favorite language and you are really proficient in it, then I will suggest you to go with go with the language that you are really expert in, rather than learning a new language. So after learning Git and GitHub, next thing you learn a programming language of your choice, which can be anything. But these three languages that I wrote here: Python, Java, JavaScript, will be safe option if you are starting out. And after learning programming language, then you have to learn a tech stack. So programming language in itself is not enough to build a product or contribute to open source. You need to learn a tech stack so that you can build a product or build an application which can be usable by a end user, or which can offer a API to a website that the website can use. So you first have to see which tech stacks are available for the language that you learned. Let's say you learn JavaScript, then you can build backend apps using Node.js, Express, or you can also build frontend apps using React, Angular, etc. Let's say you learn Java, then you can build Android apps and backend apps using Spring Boot. So there will be always options available. But there will be more web development application using JavaScript, and JavaScript and Python. So you can also go with that if you are starting out. And JavaScript script will be really helpful if you don't know anything. I will say learn JavaScript and TypeScript and start working on it. There will be lots of projects that you can work on. So these are the three things, minimum three things that you will need. Lots of people will say that you have to learn a lot and this and that, but these are the things that you have to learn. Other things you can learn on the go. So after you have learned the minimum skills, the next thing is to choose a project. So in the GitHub, in the Google Summer of Code website, it's actually platform where you can choose lot. where there will be lots of different projects available, and you can choose some of those projects and apply for them, and you will be writing a proposal, and if those proposal get selected, you will be working with those teams, and then if your work gets approved, and then you will get stipend. So here choosing a project will be really vital, because this is in your hand. Writing a proposal and getting approved is not in your hand, but choosing a smart project is in your hand. And when I got selected, I think a lot of credit goes to choosing the right project, because I selected a app development project in TensorFlow, because in TensorFlow there will be more people who will be expert in machine learning, but there will be very less people who can compete with me in app development. So then I had the advantage there, because I was competing with more machine learning developers than app development developers. Mm, then so for choosing a project, there are two ways actually. You can search a project based on the tech stack that you know, that you have really expertise in, which I think most of the people do. And another popular method is based on the organization. Let's say you are uh, you really like some organization like Google organization, or if you want to work with Apple also participate in Google Summer of Code. If you work with Apple, that will be really enhance your resume, and you will also most likely get a referral. I worked with TensorFlow, and I also got a referral for Google. So there are lots of Google organizations. I think some Facebook organizations also participate. Chrome, the big Chrome browser, which is most likely that you are using right now. Chromium also participates in Google Summer of Code. So there are high chances that you can also go with that. I personally went by the organization that we wanted to work with big organizations. But if you only want to see the tech stacks, only want to see the projects that matches your tech stack, you can go with that also. But if you want to see your favorite organization projects, and then see which project goes with your expertise, you can also go in that way. So it's up to you. But I will say always pick a project which looks difficult, so there won't be a lot of competition for you, and but it's doable. You also don't um, want to write a proposal which doesn't look doable to you, and mentor will sense it, because they are working on that project for years. So try to do a difficult project, which most likely sounds difficult, so there will be a lot less competition, but also doable. So that will really enhance your chances. So after you select a project, next thing is next thing is writing a awesome proposal. So whenever the mentor will see all of the proposal, he will rank your proposal on the top. And whenever the slots will be given, you even the slot, if they minimize the slots, if they listen the slots, you will be the one who gets selected. So you have to make a great proposal. So first, in the proposal, you have to have a detailed timeline. So in Google Summer of Code, you can't just write that I will do this. You have to write when you will do this, how you will do this, in which week. You have to give a total breakdown. So in the timeline, you have to write where you have to add. You will be having a discussion session with your mentor, because you can't do it all alone, and this is not something that open source promotes. You have to talk with them, and in senior software development, they won't allow you doing the whole feature and last day saying that I have bugs, I couldn't complete it. So you have to add sessions where you will be talking with your mentors, and you have to you also have to be realistic, because whenever you will be developing applications you will get bugs. So you have to have a breakdown of every weekend, small features that looks doable to you and also will be doable to mentor. So he will know that you went through the code base and you have an understanding of the code base other than giving throwing big words. So you have to add which week you will do what, and you will also have a meeting with mentors. You will be also fixing bugs. You will also take feedback from the mentors. And after that you also have to have a project abstraction where you will have the summary of the project. So you have there you have to, it can't be very long. You have in short you have to learn you have to write about the things that you will be doing in a project and why they should select a project, and you have to write it there. And another thing that can really help you get selected is to submit your proposal to the mentors early, before the deadline. uh, by early I mean 1 month early, because the mentors are really busy, and in the GSoC period you won't be the only one who will be sending their proposals. So there will be there will be many folks who will be sending their proposals. So you have to send your proposal as early as possible. So submit your proposal to the mentor for review and ask them what can be changed, or what doesn't looks good, or what is not realistic. Is is the proposal that I'm proposing is doable or not? Any changes that you want? Because if you get the feedback from them and make changes to your proposal, this will be the that will be really good, because these mentors will at the end will be evaluating all of the proposals and will be selecting folks for the program. So you have to do this, and this will be really important if you want to get selected. And fun fact, I didn't did anything of this. I had a detailed timeline and project abstraction, but I couldn't submit my um, proposal for review. I just submitted it to the direct Google Summer Code website, but still got selected because of the last point that we'll talk. Uh, and I think is the most important is pre-GSoC contributions. In an organization, you can just you can't go there and say that I can do this and that. They want a proof that you can do some great work, and you are specifically you have contributed to that project or that organization. You have specific expertise with with those technologies. So if you have pre-GSoC contributions to the project, it will be really helpful for you to get selected. So this is from one of my seniors who got selected to one of the Google organizations 1 year before me. He said that complete almost 30% of your Google Summer of Code project even before the Google Summer of Code starts. So if you do this and add, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know like what exactly you mean by completing project here, like completing what part of project exactly?
Okay, so there will be idea list. So the um, organizations will be listing the ideas, the project ideas that they want to do in this program. So there will be some idea posted there. So you can start working on that, and you can already get some feedback from the maintainers, because maintainers doesn't really care if you are working for this in Google Summer of Code, or if you have started it before Google Summer of Code. So if you can start working on that, and let's say I had 3 apps that I had to finish in my Google Summer of Code program. if I finish one of those apps and it's working, and I have the code um, in my GitHub, and if I add the link to the project in my proposal, so then the mentor can go to that repo and see how I contribute to the project, if the apps works or not, how I write code, and how I literally work. So it would be really helpful for them. So it's something that really worked for me. And the mentor, two things really work for me is one is this, that I started working on the project even before the project started, GSoC started. And one thing, I had some previous experience in app development. So these are the some proposal tips that I really think are really powerful and can really enhance your chances of getting selected. Now, here's the link to previous year's proposals. So if you can go to, this is Google Summer Code. This is one of the GitHub organizations that we created in 2021. This is created by all previous GSoCers. You can just go to this link, and you can see all of the proposals of previous years which got selected, and you can just easily see which. Yeah, I can just share the link. I will also share the PPT. Don't worry, every link will be available. Yeah.
Yeah, we are also recording this whole session, so don't worry about it too. Like you will be getting all those resources at the end, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. So you can just go to this link and see which organization expects you, which kind of proposals, which organization accepts which kind of proposals. And there will be sometimes continuation of the same project, and the previous year GSoC contributor will be your mentor. So so then you can just see the proposal, and it will really help you to make your own proposal. But don't just copy, because just like you can see the proposal, they can also see, most likely they have posted their proposal. So if you copy their whole proposal, it will look really bad. But if you want, you can copy the structure, how they structured. My proposal is also in that link. You can just go through that, and it will really help. And here are some of my personal suggestions that I really think are really valuable. And um, these are some that that start contributing to organization that you are targeting. So if you start contributing to organization, it will put you ahead of 90%, if not 90-80% of the applicants, because most of the people who will be applying to Google Summer of Code are have never contributed to the project, or have never contributed to the organization. So if you have some contributions, even if it's a really small contribution, like changing some small code, even documentation, it will put you ahead of the lot of the crowd, and it will really make you a organization a member, rather than a spectator who really is just for the program, Google Summer of Code program and the stipend. And as I said earlier, choose a difficult project. So if you choose a difficult project, there will be lots of new folks who hopes in for this program to get stipend and the reputation. You won't get the won't get any competition from them. You don't have to be on that project where lots of people are applying, uh, seeing it as a easy project. So if it's a difficult project, there will be very less people who will be applying, and more chances to you that you can get selected. And also, this is the third point, which I think very less people talk about, but I really think is really helpful, is having a good overall portfolio. having your own projects which aligns to the GSoC projects that you are proposing, and work experience. Like if you are applying to a mobile app development project, and if you have work experience, want to internship where you did mobile development, or if you have good projects in mobile development which are in open source, so they just can go through the code. This will really enhance your chances of getting selected, because some organizations only want people who can get the things done. And there are some organizations who only take their own contributors who are contributing for many months. But there are some organizations who take good people who um have good experience with projects and have good work experience. Doesn't matter they have contributed to open source or not. So these are some of my personal suggestions. Mm. And let's say let's say if you get selected, which is a great scenario. You will get lots of reputation, lots of opportunities, and it will be really nice. Even now, GSoC I think is the most reputed open source program of any other than any other open source program that is available right now. And it's running for so many years. So if you get selected, what to do then? Rather than treating it as a destination, I will ask you to treat it as an opportunity. So in when you get selected to GShock, you will get access to lots of great experts in the field of technology, in the field that you are working on. So it's a great opportunity for you to network with them, make good connections with them, so you can later get better opportunities from them. Even if you have some technical difficulties, you can ask them and make a good relationship with them. So, and also it's good to have good to learn from them how they do things after working on that project for. There are people who are working on machine learning for 20 plus years. If you work with them, see how they work, how they, after having so much experience, how they kept the thing so simple. So this will really help you and to scale your career, how you will take things further from here. So it will be really great for you if you learn from the experts rather than being arrogant and that I have achieved it all. You don't need to be that. Just see it as an opportunity and learn from the big experts, your mentors, and all the groups that you will get access to. And also you will get a good opportunity to understand big open source projects. So most likely in Google Summer of Code, you will be working in a big project. So the code base will be huge. So if you're in your even in your professional career, even if you have if you work on a consultancy or any company, there are very less chances that you will be working on this big projects. So if you have understanding of this big open source projects, so it will really help you to understand those projects that you will be working on in your professional career. So having having the opportunity to learn from the mentors and the experts, and who are really there for you to help you understand the code base and contribute to it, will be really helpful for you in the long term. And also it will be great for you if you get involved to the open source community um, of the organization that you get selected. Because you are a Google Summer Code student, you will get extra attention from the community, as they want more work from you to get done. So uh, a- as you will get more attention, try to get into the community and do as much that you can, and that will really help you in long term. Yeah.
Yeah, so you talked about like importance of community here. So I just want to know like how much it is important to learn in public, because wherever I just take part in any session or something, like I organize any kind of event, I try to focus on this particular topic. So I just want to hear about this particular thing from you, like how is learning public is much important to get involved into open source or anything in general.
Yeah, learning in public is, I think, really good. And if you it's really good to list out all of the things that you're learning. And you don't know who is watching your whenever you're posting. So maybe there is a senior engineer who is saying that you are learning this. I have seen lots of people. I saw someone who just started learning Android development 6 7 months ago, and now she got a job in Android development. Even the small things that she small doubts that she had, she used to post it in Twitter. And the great Android developers who are really like Android celebrities were replying to her, and she really got famous by doing this. You don't have to do this that asking all of the questions, but you can just share whatever you are learning. That will really help you. And lots of people will know from the specific domain that you are learning, and they can later reach out to you when they will think that you are now ready for the opportunity.
Yeah, so adding to that point, like I would just like to tell you all that, like you are sitting here right now, like there are 42 folks here. In starting there were 57 folks, right? So no one will be able to know that this particular person, Aryan, Arnav, Anurag, or Ananya, anyone is learning something, right? Unless and until you will share it in public. So whatever you are learning, you should share it in public. Like whatever sessions you are attending, whatever things you are building, you should share it in public. So I would just like to encourage you all to share about whatever things you are learning right now in this particular session on your socials. You can share it on your socials, and you can take Sumit there. Like I will just put his link there. So it's his Twitter ID. Would like to see about like what you have learned in this particular event from you all, on from some sort of Twitter threads or something like that. Anything in general, it will be helpful for you only. Like it's something which will be adding value to your profile only. So yeah, that's there. And you can also take hunters if you want. That's the Twitter ID. So that was a shameless plug, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure. Learning in public will also help you. And just like posting on Twitter, Twitter is a great platform because there are lots of techies out there. Y- I think open source is also great because wherever whatever you are doing in open source will be in your profile, and people can just go through it. And that's like it will work as your marketing also. The thing that you will be working on, people can see, recruiters can see. So Twitter and GitHub is something great. What you can in Twitter, just post about the things that you are working on, sessions that you are attending, and people that you met, which you really found insightful. And in GitHub, try to build things, and people will just check it out. It will look really good. So let's say now that we have talked about if you get selected with GSoC, which looks really good. And I hope some of you will really surely get selected. and and let's talk about what if you don't get selected. Or this is something that happens to many folks, and that is not something that you have to be afraid of, because this happens to almost everyone. But you have to know what to do next if you don't get selected. So I believe even if you don't get selected to GSoC, you can still contribute to open source, because GSoC, first of all, GSoC is not the only open source program. Um, right now, there are lots of programs like LFX mentorship, MLH also has one program, and there are a lot of other programs also. So other than that, even if you just contribute to open source, there are some good reasons for that. So first of all, you will get a real world software development experience. So lots of you folks don't have any experience of working in a internship or in a full time job. So, and lots of companies want you to have a previous experience. So it's really tough if every company wants you to have um, previous experience. So it's really um, tough for you to get selected, because every company wants some previous experience. So if you have some if you have some open source software development experience, that can really help you to make a good resume. And this is my also my second point, that having a good open source profile can really enhance a resume, as you can put it in your resume as well. And and there are multiple good projects that you can just go through. And let's say if you are a Android developer, and Android OS is itself, it is open source. Let's say you have a contribution to the Android OS, which is very rare, but if you have it, it will look really good. And most likely recruiters will really it will really shine recruiters eyes. So the third point is the satisfaction of working on impactful softwares. Uh, in m- there are mostly engineers work on consultancies, where they are working on some working for some agencies, from some small projects and all. But let's say if you are working on a non-profit project which is getting used by billion users, uh, just talk about Firefox, VLC, Android, all of it is open source. Let's say if you have a contribution to that, whenever, even Chromium is open source. If you have a contribution to Chromium, Chrome will get used by billion plus users. So that will really benefit you, and you can put it in resume, and it will be available in your GitHub as well, so people can see it. Also, networking through open source is great, because most of the guys these days ask for referral in LinkedIn. So even whenever someone gives you a referral uh, to their company from LinkedIn, in company they ask that how you got to know this person, have you worked with him anywhere. So it's really tough for you to work with everyone and get referral from them. So some senior developers also are active on open source, so you can contribute to their projects and work with them there, and have a good connection, because coders will know coders rather than good emailers. So you don't have to write good emails, you just can submit some code to their repo. It will be great thing for you. And also, having a good GitHub profile is good for you to get jobs and other opportunities, because these days I don't see any resumes without their GitHub profile. And also remote opportunities, all they see is your GitHub profile, and your how much projects that you have contributed to, how good projects that you have. So having good projects there is really good and would really help you. And These are some of the other resources that I think will be really helpful for you to get selected to GSoC. So first is the Google Summer Code website. Second is the resources which are from Google themselves for the GSoC program. Third is also from Google, so you can go through this links. Last one is created by the previous GSoCers. You can also go through that, and that will really help you to enhance your chances of getting selected. So thank you.
Yeah, so that's really great. Like, thank you so much, Sunit, for like taking your time and telling us all about like this insightful insights about Google Summer of Code. So, folks, like if you want to connect with Sunit, so you can. I am just sharing his link tree here. There are all those profiles are there, so you can connect with him there. Am I audible? Can I just see
Yeah,
a
you are
small?
audible.
Yes.
Yeah, cool, cool. Yeah. So thank you so much, Sunit. So yeah, that's all for today. If like we are open for questions now. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and can ask your question. Till then, I will just scroll. I can see one question here, but how we will get the ideal list of next year? So it is being asked by Aditya. So would you like to answer it, Sunit?
Yeah. So Google Summer Code happens in March, February, March. In that time, you have to write proposal. So 1 2 months before Google Summer Code, the organizations put their idea list. Some put their idea list in a Google Drive. So you have to just search for the idea list. Let's say you want to participate in Chromium. Just search Chromium GSoC idea list, so you will get the link. And after the organizations also, just like contributors have to get selected, also the organizations have to get selected for GSoC. So when the organizations get selected, they also put their ID list there. So after that you will get for sure in February, I think. But even before that, some organization put their ID list in the GitHub or Google Drive. You just have to Google search and you will get it.
Yeah, thanks for answering that. So first of all, kudos for all of those people like who are here till end, because you are there to learn something. So I do really appreciate you all for that. And like if you have any questions, so you can just ask here, like so that like you don't have to reach out to others to know more about this particular program. So feel free to ask your questions. Like we will be here for next 2 minutes. So yeah. By the way, okay. So Rishabh is raised his hand. Yeah, Rishabh, go ahead.
Um, Hello, Sumit. Myself, Rishabh Jaiswal, and I am a second year student at DAV, and I've been exploring a lot about GSoC and open source. So, from today's session, I have a question that you said about the organizations and the projects. So, can you give some tips about how we can select active organizations and good projects?
Okay. So by active organizations, you can there are some organizations who organize daily events, weekly events, or monthly